Hello guys, welcome back to another set of Set 5 spoilers. Today we'll be going over some new cards. I'm really excited about it. Let's just jump straight into it. I know you guys are excited about it too. So to kick us off, we have a bit of a weirder card. It kind of goes against the logic of the game, so I think you guys will be excited for it. It's Rylex, the first Lich. He's a 200/200 zombie wizard, legendary, so you can only have one of him. But he starts the game in your graveyard. You can't draw him. He just is in your graveyard for the very beginning. Some newer players will probably be confused in why this is good, and some veteran players are probably freaking out right now. But graveyard strategies are very powerful right now. Cards like Senmir, Heart of Jikra, Door of the Undead, Undead Skullcaster. These cards really synergize with stuff in the graveyard and bring them back from the graveyard. The fact that Rylex starts in your graveyard really fuels into those strategies. Really excited to see him played. Interested to see what combos you guys will come up with around him. We have another card that also synergizes with the graveyard, but in a bit of a different way. Here is Estella, the Crimson Bride, legendary bloodthirsty, 300/200 vampire for a dark and a fire. At the end of your turn, if you have no cards in your hand, return this ally from your graveyard to your hand. And whenever this ally is discarded from your hand, you may summon it without paying its mana cost. So if you have a way to discard cards, you can discard Estella and play her for free. But if you completely go all in, like some of these fire and dark aggressive decks tend to do, Estella can come back once you've run out of gas. If you dump your entire hand of stuff with cheap one-cost spells and allies, Estella will be able to come back after your opponent kills her again and again. She becomes a reoccurring threat. Very strong. I'm excited to see here in some of these aggressive decks to kind of up the tempo of games. This next one isn't really a new card. It is a reprint of an older card. Some people who have been us since the very beginning, like set 1 and 2, will remember the menace that was Dragonfire Cannon. Well, we are happy to say that it is coming back. Here is Dragonfire Cannon with new artwork from my friend the Blind Jester. For those who are new to the game, Dragonfire Cannon costs 12 mana. But it costs 1 less mana for each fire spell in your graveyard, and it performs 1,000 damage attack. So probably the strongest damage attack in the game from a spell. It's kind of unstoppable. Pretty consistently, it has killed so many players throughout its days, back when fire spell decks were really strong. We are reprinting it now, so you can get it in the new Set 5 set with this new artwork. I think it looks really neat for those who want to relive the glory days, and it is a very strong card if you build around it. Really cool. It is also really fun to open up a pack of cards and just see, oh, 2 cost, 3 cost, 12 mana for this monstrosity. So, excited to show that off to you guys. To continue the spell chain here, we have Spellgorger Mimik. It is a slime shapeshifter, 100/100 for a water and a gray, with the new mechanic Spellproof. This mechanic actually isn't quite new. Some people will be able to recognize its mechanic where it says this ally cannot be targeted by your opponent's spells or abilities. This is the exact same ability as Spellshell Turtle, if you remember back in set 3. Spellshell Turtle was so good that we've decided to take its ability and keyword it. So now Spellshell Turtle will have Spellproof. This Mimic has Spellproof, and whenever you cast a spell with a mana cost 4 or less, he gains +100/+100 permanently. So make sure to spam out some of those cheaper spells, preferably draw spells, or even if you can manage it, buff spells, and this guy will become a real threat really quickly. And with the Spellproof, your opponent's going to have to get rid of it through combat, which will be difficult if the Mimic is as big as it can be. Needs some setup, but I think it's a pretty solid common for these spell-slinging decks. Another card that I think will go well in these spell-slinger decks is a card called Second Creation. It is a water spell for 4 gray and a water, with Ripple for 2 gray and a water. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library. Then each player draws cards equal to the game's starting hand size. Banish the spell after its effects resolves. So basically, if you don't enjoy your hand, if you're looking at it and you're like, this was good at the beginning, but now things have changed and I want something new, you can shuffle it away and redraw a new one. If you have something in the graveyard that you really wish wasn't destroyed, such as one of the god cards mentioned in the last video, you can shuffle them back and have a chance to try to get them again. Very strong card, a bit expensive to start off with, but that's why we have that ripple effect. If you can play a cheap spell and ripple second creation into it, it will be worth your while. I think this card's going to be pretty strong in control strategies and those SpellSlingers strategies that I mentioned earlier with stuff like Dragonfire Cannon. To wrap up today's video, I'm going to show off 2 new ally cards in the Earth archetype. I know there's a lot of new players who really enjoyed this element and playstyle, so I think you'll be excited for this. Here's Skytrap Spider. Seems pretty simple, 500/500 for 4 gray and an earth, with Vanguard, so you must attack this spider before you can attack a player, and Bane of Flying. So if anything flying comes anywhere near this spider, it will get absolutely slaughtered. Very effective against these air strategies that we've been seeing, these air-water strategies where they just fill their deck with flying stuff and just absolutely smash face with their aerial superiority. Skytrap Spider will shut down that strategy very quickly with its Bane of Flying. Even if they don't have flying, a 500/500 spider with a Vanguard is very good. You can still attack with this spider. Very effective. I'm looking forward to this showing up in decks. It's a great common. I love the artwork. I'm proud of it. Hopefully this card will kind of stall out the game a little bit more, which is what Earth really wants to do. Accumulate more mana and get big stuff on the field. But what would Earth be without Elves? Don't worry. For all those Elf players who just want to win the game as fast as possible with their incredibly competitive decks, we have a new card just for you. Here is Lowmeadow Shaman, a 200/200 Elf Druid for a gray and an earth. As long as you control another Elf ally or drill card, this ally gains +100/+100 and spellproof. And again, spellproof is what Gemshell Turtle had. Allies with spellproof cannot be targeted by spells or abilities your opponents control. By itself, it's just a 200/200 elf with no real upside, but as soon as you get a friend like Elvish Highlander or Loridria, this thing becomes a real threat, becomes a 300/300 that can't be targeted. Throw some equipment on there and make her smash face. I think this card's going to be really effective. I also really enjoy this artwork, and I won't tell you why. Anyway, that's all the set 5 spoilers for today's video. Look forward to some more. I still have an art competition going if you guys are watching this as it's released. I've had a couple commissions come in, but there's always still room for more. We're actually giving out physical prizes for that one, so stay tuned for that. I'll have a video announcing the winners as soon as it's over. If this is your first time seeing my game, check out our Discord channel in the description down below, or if you just want to peruse the cards and see some of the artwork and mechanics and try to get a better grasp of the game, check out the database link as well. It brings to our website that shows all the public cards all in one nice format for you to print out and play test. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.